Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred here, and today I'm going to be going over the College Board Official Study Guide Math Practice Test 3 Math Non-Calculator question number 18. So we're nearing the end of the non-calculator test. If you've watched my introductory videos, or really any of them, I always tell you that the number of the problem actually tells us a story about how we have to attack the problem. So if we're at number 18, first, it means that we're on a free response question, and it's a medium level, and it might involve something that it's been a while either in geometry or algebra that we've seen. So I'm looking at this and I see this figure. It says it's not drawn to scale. That's important. And it says two isosceles triangles are shown above. I actually just moved the problem, so this would be below it in the book. If 180 minus z equals 2y and y equals 75, what is the value of x? Well, you don't want to just start doing something with a problem that's geometry related until you really identify what you know is true in this figure. So there's a couple things that I know to be true, and it's trying to find this value of x, this angle right here. You can see it's an angle. So it would be really helpful if I could find this angle. Why would it be helpful if I could find that angle? Well, because that angle plus x equals 180 degrees. You may remember those are called a linear pair or supplementary angles. They form a straight angle. And it can be kind of hard to see because it's sideways, right? All right, so I look in the diagram to see if there's anything I know. Well, there's a couple things that I know. I know that these two angles are marked congruent, which tells me that I'm going to call this triangle 1, okay? And this triangle 2 so that you can see what I'm referring to, okay? The triangle 1 is an isosceles triangle, and that the base angles, the angles opposite those congruent sides, are congruent. That's the isosceles triangle theorem, and from your geometry class, you did learn that. So I know those two angles are equal. And I also know that over here, this is also an isosceles triangle, and these two angles are also equal. Okay, so I know that 180 minus c is equal to 2y, and I know that y is 75. All right, so I know that 180 minus c has to equal, I can substitute 75 in for y, which is going to give me 2 times 75, which is 150. All right, so I'm going to find out what z is. All right, so I'm going to subtract 180, and that gives me that negative z equals negative 30, and so z is 30 degrees. Okay, so that angle right there is 30 degrees. Well, you know from geometry that the three angles of a triangle have to equal 180 degrees. And these two angles are equal to each other. So I know that together they have to equal, all three of them have to equal 180. And I know that these two angles together have to equal 150 because 180 minus 30 is 150. So 150 divided by 2, we're back to that 75, okay? So this angle right here is 75 degrees. So then we look at x, and remember we said these formed a linear pair, a straight angle, and they have to equal 180 degrees. So 180 minus 75 will give me x, so 105. So x is 105 degrees. Okay, so again, we needed to remember that in an isosceles triangle, base angles, the angles opposite the congruent sides are congruent. We needed to recognize linear pair angles, so any two angles that form a straight angle equal 180. And we also needed to know that the three angles of a triangle added up to 180 degrees. All right, and that gave us an answer of x being 105 degrees. There's some nice geometry review for you. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.